involved in forgiveness activities, and also in some of the Hindu traditions, people do not eat meat. If at all they eat, or if they're not fasting, they adhere to vegetarian diet. But when we are looking now, digging deep into the science behind for these traditional practices, is if you see during or a few days leading up to the solar eclipse or on the solar eclipse, we feel the tiredness, the drowsiness, the sleepiness, or feeling dizzy, a little bit of uneasiness in our body because of the gravitational pulse and the influences of the cosmic energy. On top of that, if we eat meat, what actually happens when we eat meat, it takes 72 hours for any meat protein to be eliminated from our elemental canal, to be completely digested and eliminated. And also, when we eat meat, our body needs a lot of energy for digestion. That's why you can feel so tired and sluggish if you have a massive amount of meat. Unless you are an athlete, you are very, very active, you might not feel it. But if you have an office work, you are an average person, but you consumed massive amount of meat, you can feel it in your body. You just feel tired. You couldn't put a finger on it if you were not aware of it. This is one of the scientific reasons why a lot of the traditions says that limit consumption of meat, and especially during a solar eclipse, because our body is so tender and it's in a state of feeling tired and in a state of emotional age. If I could put it in that way, we can be triggered easily with any external stimuli. If somebody upsets you or you feel frustrated, what actually happened when we're talking about, some people say, okay, yes, there is a dark energy, the solar eclipse can create illnesses in our body, but it's not necessarily true. But there is some kind of truth behind that saying. It's not directly create illnesses in our body, but it amplifies our emotions. And as we often talk about, negative emotions are the major catalyst for majority of the chronic health conditions. So if we are prone to have or in a state of negative emotions, say for instance somebody cheated you, or worried about your family member, worried about your health, or worried about your work, and if you are in the negative state of mind, and then during the solar eclipse time, these negative emotions can get amplified, and then that can contribute to stress. Then these snowballs, these negative emotions then produce cortisol, all the stress hormones, and then as we see day in and day out about the science behind the stress and how it creates chronic health conditions. So there is a little bit of truth, but it is not completely true. And also in Vedic traditions, they often fast during solar eclipse because of these kind of benefits. And also there is an advice that to drink a lot of water, because our body is 70% of our body consists of water. Because of the location of the lunar and the solar and the gravitational pulse, our body reacts depending on the location, especially of the moon. So we need to drink plenty of water when we feel drowsy, dizzy, or anything as such. But scientifically speaking, if I often teach my dialysis patients, if they are feeling dizzy after the